welcome to that second Kosmik office hour. We are super happy to see you here. Just like last week, we are going to do a quick demo of Kosmik upcoming features, and then we are going to take a few questions about the app and the roadmap, and we are also ready to discuss our future pricing plan, which we'll announce properly on Twitter very early next week. So thank you for joining. And the first thing I may want to show you is, and by the way, please meet Benjamin, our lead developer on all things TypeScript. I asked Benjamin to join me today because, as you know, we are also working on a progressive web application for users that are on Windows or on Linux, and we are also planning on releasing a version for the web itself. So that's why Benjamin is here to answer all of your questions about our web application. And so today, let me just show you how Kosmik works. So what I want to show you is the base of Kosmik. Kosmik is an infinite canvas where you can basically drag and drop almost any kind of information. And our goal with Kosmik was to create a canvas that was as easy to use as some applications that you may know, like Miro or Mural, but that could have features as powerful as the one you can find in Notion or Roam Research, for example. So let's say that we want to work on an article here, a PDF. For example, in Kosmik, you can extract pages super easily, or if you want to comment or annotate some text, you can highlight it, drag it out, and Kosmik will recognize that text element and allow you to modify it, enlarge it, and do whatever you want to do because we have a full rich text editing editor that's running in Kosmik. Now, another of our most impressive feature is our embarked web browser. So if you drag and drop any link in Kosmik, Kosmik will not only paste the link, but it will also create a full web card where you can have, for example, an article, or you can even go on your social network. And just like you would on the PDF, you can highlight some content in the web, drag it out, and Kosmik will let you edit that, modify it, just like I did here. And so our goal is to create an application where you can have a full workflow where you collect ideas, you import some pictures, you import some videos, then you can create documents, and lastly, you can communicate them through our publishing features. So here, for example, you see that I can play videos, and I can also import picture from the finders super easily. Now, what I want to show you is one of our most powerful feature, which is transclusion. You may know transclusion from Roam Research or Notion or Obsidian. Transclusion is the idea that you can sync a full document or parts of a document in several places. So for example, here I have that card that exists in two places, and if I modify it in one place, it's going to update everywhere. Now, if we do it on the same canvas, it's not that impressive. But what we can do with Kosmik is we can switch to another universe where we have the exact same copy of the card, but that card here is public. Now, this is where Kosmik gets really powerful. You can publish a full canvas in Kosmik or a card. So let's say I want to share an idea with you. For example, I can click on that small antenna here, copy the public link, go into Chrome, paste it, and Kosmik will load a viewer where you will be able to see the universe in public mode, and you will be able to reuse some content if I allow you to do so. So here, for example, you are seeing our PWA, the famous progressive web app. And here in that tab, I'm logged in, and you can see I have the exact same data in the PWA and in the native app. But another thing that you can do with Kosmik is you may want to share some things with some people, but you may not want to share the full canvas. So what you can do is you can click on any object, the card or the picture itself, and when you select an object, Kosmik will spawn a small dock here, and if I click on the antenna, I can take the link from that object, go into Chrome, and paste it. And Kosmik will load not the full universe, but a viewer. So this is all part of the PWA that Benjamin is developing with his team. The viewer, the authorship tracking, all of that is permitted because we built our own database. Maybe you will expand a bit about all the things we built. So just a reminder, Kosmik is based on IPFS, and we use IPFS to store data. And on top of that, we have Bang, our own database which do a lot of stuff like versioning,
branching. It's completely decentralized, and we store the data and its integrity on the kind of a blockchain that we developed with all the versions stored on the network.
And we even have an offline mode in the browser, which is something that was quite hard to do.
It is quite hard.
It is quite hard to do. And so the publish mode in Kosmik is not just to share object from one people to another. If you share an object with someone that has Kosmik, you can also sync objects between universes. So for example, here, all of those objects are my objects, but this card here comes from someone else, and I cannot edit it. You see that if I click on an object that's my object, I can modify it, enlarge it, etc., etc. But if an object isn't mine, I cannot modify it. Now, what's super interesting is if I log out and we log into the account of that other user, you see here the other version of the card, which is updating currently because I use Kosmik on another computer. But if I modify that card here, I'm going to do it very crudely so you see what I mean. You see I changed the layout. I can now update the public link. Kosmik is publishing the change. Kosmik is really working kind of like a small Git repo where each object has its own branch, as Benjamin was saying, and you can choose when you want to commit to the public branch or to other branches. So now what I can do is log out, go back to the initial account, and when we log in, we will see the changes being pulled by Kosmik from that other account. And you see here, I have that card that got updated. So it's super powerful because people can reuse objects through transclusion and get the updates, kind of like a visual RSS feed. So that's really what we are working on in Kosmik. And another thing that we wanted to show last week, but that we weren't able to show, is annotations. So a lot of you asked us when we were going to release annotations. So we are working on them. One of the most challenging thing to do is making them fully multi-platform, working. So basically, you draw on the iPad, we read them on the Mac, but we also need to read them on the PWA, and that's going to take us some time. We also have to put them into our merging mechanism, because each each stroke is its own object. So that's quite a lot of work, and we also want them to stick to the objects. But to give you a sneak peek, on my iPad, I opened the Pencil Kit panel, and for example, I can draw a shape very, very quickly, and that shape, in a few seconds, is synced to the Mac, and you can see it right here. So what you would be able to do with annotation that's super powerful is, for example, you would be able to highlight some object to say, this is really what I want to do, this is the thing I was looking for, or even if you were working on some text, you could use Kosmik as a way to annotate text super naturally, like you would work on your text on the Mac, but while you are working on the Mac to edit some text, for example, you could do some highlights and some comments. I'm doing them in a very rough way on the iPad, and they would just, boom, be synced, which also can give you an idea of how powerful Kosmik will be when we'll release the multiplayer mode, which is also something that we are working on currently. So this is where we are with Kosmik right now. This is kind of a preview of the features that we are working on. We hope to show you backlinks very soon. We've been working on them for a few weeks. They are fully spec'd. We need to code and test them. But basically, backlinks in Kosmik will work in a super simple way. Like you select an object, and here you will have a button. You will click on that button. You will have a list of your backlink. And when you click on one of those backlinks, it will bring up a panel that we call the pin panel, and you will be able to see the backlinked object in its other context directly in that other universe, which is also something I wanted to show you. The pin mode was created for researchers using Kosmik. When you want to, for example, have some notes on the left of your screen while you are browsing the web, or while you are searching for another information. So this is something that's very handy, and we are even working on a fully distractionless full screen mode where you will be able to work in a specific mode, but as you can see, it's not ready yet for prime time. So thank you for joining us. That was a demo of Kosmik today. And I'm just looking for the button to stop sharing my screen. Yes. Is there a view of all objects you have publicly shared? Not yet, but this is something we've been working on.
Yes, we have developed a feature in a very early stage. That was the profile page, but it's not maintained anymore because we have other priorities. But the first implementation was basically the list, as you can eventually see on
I'm
the
going
screen.
to show it to you. So basically, when you are viewing a public object, you see we have those authorship tracking tags, and you can click on the name of the author, and it will bring you to that feed of all the public objects by that person.
Exactly. We are working on a smart way to list all the public objects of a person, depending on what he published. But it's quite complicated because we are on a distributed network and we have to deal with the ownership and to the revoked objects. So for now, it's on an early stage, but we are gonna release it as soon as we as we can, and we want to have like rich profile pages.
And so this is something that we didn't show you, but maybe I can show you that very quickly. And thanks you, Yadu, for coming online. So one of the things that we hope people will use Kosmik for is really to share objects and share thoughts. We really envision Kosmik as the best platform there is to share your thoughts, your documents, and long-form content. So in Kosmik, if someone sends you a public link, it will either open in the PWA if you do not have the app, or it will open directly in the app, and you'll be able to reuse that content. So I'm looking if I can show that to you now. Give me just a minute to load another version of Kosmik. Here we go. So here I am on another version of Kosmik with another account. You see, it's basically the same universe to do the demo. So here I have a link to a public card. And so if I click on that and I open it, oops, that's not what I wanted to do, but I can open that. I should be able to open it in Kosmik, but basically the idea is that when you click on that, it opens directly in that Kosmik version, and you have a viewer and you can choose whether or not you want to reuse the objects. And maybe you saw that in the version of Kosmik that I was using earlier, but we have an address book. And so one of the things that we are working on in Kosmik is how to make collaboration feels more natural. If you work in Figma or in Notion, when you share something with someone, you first have to add them to the workspace or to the team, and then you share something with them and they have the rights to edit it or reuse it. In Kosmik, we think that every user is a creator, an author, and a reader. And so in the address book, every Kosmik user will have a small contact card, and in that contact card, you will have that feed of public object that we showed you, and people will be able to just take some of your objects if they have the rights to reuse them and have them on their canvas and subscribe to your universe. So we really want to see if people are ready to consume media and other information in a spatial canvas. So it's really meant to, in the end, it could almost become a public forum where people exchange ideas, data, comments, and all those kind of stuff. And which is why we're also so adamant that we want to have multimedia support. Like we want you to be able to import 3D objects, videos, any kind of file formats, because we think that Kosmik really aggregates those three parts that are collect, create, and communicate. Like every knowledge work starts usually by having an article or taking some content from somewhere, commenting it, editing it, creating a new document, and then sharing it with someone. So that's really what we are trying to do with our software. And so if some of you have questions about Kosmik or how you felt the app was behaving in those first weeks since the launch, feel free to reach out to us. We are here to answer your question. And so we'll announce the pricing plan on Twitter next Monday, and we are also going to release a roadmap with you where you will be able to see which big work we are currently conducting inside Kosmik, like when are backlinks going to ship, when are annotations going to ship, when is the multiplayer going to be available, the PWA, the Windows version. So everything will be public starting next week. And for those of you that signed up during the period where we were giving away 1,000 seats and once, so basically 1 year of free usage for the first 1,000 users, you'll know what you will get for free. But basically the personal plan, in the free version of Kosmik, you will not be able to import super heavy object, like we'll have a cap on files and videos and media because it's going to be too heavy for our infrastructure. But in the personal plan, which is the plan that we are going to give away for free, basically you'll get 1 year of the personal plan for free, which will have no cap, will allow you to create as many objects as you want, will allow you to publish objects. And we are also working on maybe allowing collaboration and multiplayer mode from the personal plan, but that's not decided yet because we still have a lot of work to do in the multiplayer mode, because we really want to create something that's not just like a multiplayer mode in Figma or Google Doc. We want to have a multiplayer mode where people can, for example, choose if they want to commit some files. We want to really see if that branch system is going to work as well as we think it can work. And you can ask Benjamin, who is also designing the multiplayer mode, and I think he has quite a lot of problems to solve.
Yeah. The decentralized question is very important for privacy and ownership of the network. So we're really proud to use IPFS to develop this decentralized database and Kosmik on top of that.
Yeah. And so Eric, yes, Etherpad is something that I just looked up, and yeah, it would be really good to have something like that. It seems super nice and easy to use. We are really striving to have something that will behave like that, where you will have in the navbar a list of users currently connected to the app, and where you would be able, we even want to integrate video directly into the app. We want to have video chat into the app, and that may even come quicker than multiplayer mode because we actually have a lot of building blocks already in place in Kosmik for that to happen. So estimated time of arrival for web app. So maybe you want to expand on that, but basically it's going to be staged.
Yeah, it's going to be step by step because we have real challenges because of decentralized and offline first features. But the first step would be to have a fully featured visualization tool for Kosmik objects and Kosmik universes, where you can publish on the app some universes and share it wide web. And the next step is going to be to be able to edit on private universes, and the further step is going to be to publish it. Of course, the objective is to become completely independent from the iOS, macOS app, and the feature parity is going to take a while, but we plan to do that as soon as possible.
So yeah, basically, first step is to have a viewer, which is almost ready because we have the viewer for public universes, and it's not that hard to make it happen for private universes. Once we have that, we hope to ship that in the summer, in a few months. We may even beta test it in a few weeks with a selected group of users. Then, as Benjamin said, you'll be able to edit content that's already there. And then finally, you'll be able to add content directly from the web app. And at that point, maybe we'll consider making the web app a quasi-native app for Windows, which would mean, for example, that one of the great problems that we have with the web app is that you cannot display a website inside a website. And the web app is basically a website. So you lose that super cool feature, which is that you can browse the web from the canvas. So what we want to do is to have that native app for Windows or quasi-native app where you would be able to get back those features. So some features may honestly never come in the web app, or at least never be as powerful as in a heavy client that you download locally. But we are going, of course, we want to be fully multi-platform, and the code is written in that spirit.
Yeah. And we're working on every detail to make it like the same as a heavy
Yeah.
platform. And also we're working really seriously on the fact that you can play with the app, the web app, without being online, and that's a very cool feature with the cache. So yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, because one thing that kept coming back when we were benchmarking user personas and workflows. So Kosmik seems to be quite popular with creative people and researchers, and they were all like, "We want to be able to use your app wherever we are and whatever the network status is." And actually, one of the things that isn't it's one of the hardest thing to do offline mode, not because you have to store things locally, but because Kosmik is multi-device. Kosmik works on an iPad, on a Mac, and in a web client, and you have to sync that back when you go back online, and that's quite hard to do. Of course, you have also to manage user account offline, so you have to allow users to log in while offline. So a lot of our work technically was spent on that offline mode, but we are proud to say that it's going to be available everywhere. Will there be a Rome data import feature? So Rome is basically Markdown with a lot of stuff on top of it to make transclusion happen. And it depends more on what Rome gives you when you export than what Kosmik can import. So it may be possible in the future, but at that point in time, it's impossible to say if we would be able to import all of the Markdown files and the full, I would say, glue that makes them so good to use in Rome. But that's something we would really like to do, offer structured import for Rome. Of course, Obsidian is quite easy to do because it's only Markdown files. Maybe Notion, Evernote, basically any other second brain app that you may be already running, we want to play nice with it. One thing that you can do and that a few users are doing currently in Kosmik is that you can display your Rome graph in Kosmik and you can export and drag and drop content between the two of them. So yeah, are there any issues with conflicting updates? Normally no, because Benjamin and Christophe designed the CRDT mechanism. Maybe you can explain a bit what this is.
Yeah, of course. Basically on top of the data you're importing in Kosmik, there are like layers that we developed that represent the metadata and the branches around the data and the versions that we have. That's the most important part. So every object, once modified, is versioned in a list where any other peer on the network or wherever that is modifying it is also versioning this data. Once you get back online, all the versions from all the different peers are going to challenge themselves to fit to the common version list that you have. Meaning that once two peers or n peers are coming back online, they are mixing the versions so they can have all the modifications in one object. So your object is gonna bring like the best of all the modification from all the users.
So normally it should work perfectly.
Normally it should work perfectly, but there are always conflicts. For example, if you move your card on your canvas on the left, and another peer moved it on the right, it's the last that did the modification that is going to win.
Yeah. So some things are still resolved via last right win, but I would say that we are quite confident that our merging mechanism is capable of doing much more. We are also looking at, for example, I can't tell you everything, but today Kosmik transclusion works on a whole object. So for example, you can transclude a text, but you cannot transclude just a part of a text because of merging issues that we need to address and because we need to update the merging mechanism. But our goal is to allow you to transclude parts of objects and see the updates through a part of an object. So basically having several contexts, several transclusion, and that all depends on our merging mechanism and how we sync modification and those version trees. But we are quite confident in the architecture that we built.
Yeah.
And so Peter, to answer your question, yes. So we really hope that Kosmik will be used in education settings by teacher, students, or even staff, because we think that that canvas metaphor is to convey information, like just say, hey, for example, this is what's going to happen in college next week. It's also super good to analyze material because you can annotate, you can transclude, you can extract, you can build documents, you can share them. It's good to collaborate. And with the publish mode, because you are not just in a multiplayer canvas with cursor flying all around, one teacher could, for example, just collect publish link to some students, I don't know, homework, and they could correct them directly from Kosmik, and they could have an exchange. And I think it could change the way we envision teaching and maybe more studying than teaching, because teaching is people. But studying when you are alone requires good tools. And we also saw with COVID that a lot of people were cut off from school for long periods of time. And I think it was very hard for students and teachers. And we hope that Kosmik, if we have that video chat capabilities, if we play nice with all those files format like Word, Pages, if you can embed anything, we think that it's going to be a tremendous tool for education. And we really hope that it's going to be of great service to those persons. And one thing that's not quite education, but still, one thing that's super hard, and I was a student myself in humanities, I did philosophy, bibliography, and to track sources and material. And with Kosmik and transclusion, you can text parts of work from PDF, from website, from anywhere, and you can track it. And our goal is to have people publishing content in Kosmik, because when you reuse public object from Kosmik, it's instantly tracked and linked to its author. So you can, a link in Kosmik can never die, basically. That's the goal of transclusion. So we really think it's also a good platform. For example, Kosmik could be a great way to build Wikipedia 2.0. Wikipedia is a super cool project, but with Kosmik you could have a spatial version, you could see transclusion link, you could have backlinks, you could have lots of stuff that would be super fun. And one of the goals of Benjamin is to have a multiplayer mode that would be kind of a free-for-all, where you would just share a board and anybody that got the link could edit it. So we also want to see how people are going to use that kind of community version of Kosmik. Of course, there are probably going to be some bad jokes in it, but we want to test that and see how it's going to behave in the wild.
Yeah. The worldwide Kosmik Canva could be amazing.
Yes, Tidely Wiki is a great inspiration for us. It's a super good product. It needs to be kind of, you need to put some effort in it to make it work, but we are because they did such a great job with how you build a wiki. And we think that the wiki building activity for yourself, when you build a second brain or a database of stuff you like, or anything that can benefit from those links and backlinks, or for a team, or for even a community, can be enhanced if you have a canvas that works from a tablet to a big screen to even one day maybe a headset. That's the goal. All those stuff, backlinks, transclusion, links, authorship tracking, tagging, are there since maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 years even for some of them. But we lack a new interface on top of that. And we hope that the canvas can change the way we use those features. So that's kind of our vision and goal, to allow you to build visual wikis and to share them with anybody and have a great way to discover and remix knowledge. And so thank you everyone for joining. Yadu, if you are currently in the waitlist, it would be a pleasure to accept you. If you can just maybe send us an email, I'm going to send you the email address that you can write to. And if you want an early access, we can maybe make that happen. And thank you again, Peter and Eric, for joining today. It's a pleasure to get to know you better. We may switch to Zoom for next week because we would really like that office hour to be more interactive, and Zoom would allow you to put your camera on and join us and open your mic, and we could just have a discussion, which would be really nice. And more people from Kosmik could also join, which would be super cool. So we are working on that for next week. Thank you all for joining, and see you really soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.